needs a good stirring, and then I can just go through, and if that's not watered down enough, it might not be. I might have to use some actual gesso for that. That gesso that I mixed with water is just a little too watery for the bright colors that are on here, because they are bright. I need to bring them down a notch or two. It's a pain in the butt to paint flowers because you got to make sure you get every petal, and then even underneath the petals that show. So it's kind of just a real pain. Just when you think you're finished, you find another area that you missed. At least I do every time. I'm like, dang it, I missed a whole other area. That's what's kind of a pain. Because you got to realize other people are going to see it from other angles. So if you put it up a certain way, people will see it from the side, so you got to watch the sides of it, and yeah, it's not fun. It's fun to paint, but it can be kind of tedious and a pain to paint flowers or gesso flowers. You can fast forward through this part if it's getting boring. You can fast forward through the whole video if you want to. Some people are definitely going to find this video boring. But they're not the people that I want seeing my video anyway. So there. My videos are meant for, you know, I really want to help people that are just getting into mixed media, who are not sure, you know, what things to use, and they want to, you know, start doing canvases and projects with mixed media. And also people on a budget who, you know, might need to make their own paint sprays, and really you shouldn't be afraid to do that because it's very simple to make your own craft supplies. There's a lot of things. I learn every day. I go on YouTube all the time, and I learn, you know, just as much as anybody else. I've been crafting all my life, and I still am learning. I've always been a very crafty person, and you don't have to be a crafty person. I mean, if you think, you know, if you never really did it before, and that's why you think that you're not crafty, oh, because you've not really done any crafts, that doesn't mean that you're not crafty. That just means you don't have the experience. But if you just start doing it and get your hands wet, you know, and just start doing it, you'll find that you're craftier than you think you are. Especially mixed media, because mixed media is extremely forgiving. It's one of the best medias to start with because it's so forgiving, and it leads to other things, and it makes you better at other things because, you know, mixed media, you're always learning, and you're always, you know, getting better, and it's just an amazing medium to start with for people. And nobody should be afraid to start with it because it's not something you can mess up. Because no matter how much you think you screw up, You know, there's no wrong with mixed media. And everybody should try it. But I mean, you can watch the most, you know, experienced YouTube video person with, you know, 800,000 videos that they have up with crafting stuff, and I guarantee you, even they're still learning. There's always, you know, there's always a learning process that goes along with doing any kind of craft. There's always new things that are coming out and new ways to do things, and you know, and so nobody's really an expert. Everybody's always still learning. Even the best crafter is still trying to find new ways and learning from other people, and maybe taking something that somebody else did and kind of putting their own spin on it and stuff. That's always fun. But it's important to keep learning. Nobody's ever gonna be perfect at anything. Okay. I'm going to dry these flowers really quick, and then I might add some other colors to them or more gesso, not sure yet. I'm going to add more gesso to these two and these two, but this one I kind of like the way it is. I like the color of that. I'm happy with that one. But this one definitely needs to be muted down a lot more. You could do these before you put them on. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could do it before you put the flowers, attach the flowers to the canvas, or you could do it, you know, after like I did. I wasn't sure what I was doing enough to gesso them beforehand, so I kind of wanted to see. I wanted to kind of see what was what. What was what? Okay, and as that dries, it'll get more translucent and more of the color will come through. And for those who are super new to crafting and don't know what gesso is, I will do a quick explanation. Gesso is an artist medium, and basically, not to get technical because I don't even know how to explain it in a technical way. It was originally used, hold on a second. It was originally used by artists to prime their canvas. That's basically what it does. It adds a little bit of, I don't want to say grit, but for a better word, it would be tooth. It adds some tooth so that the paint or pastels or whatever they're going to use, you know, doesn't get lost in the canvas. It actually gives it something to grab onto and makes it more, you know, gives it a little something something, basically. And it gives the canvas something to, you know, it just makes the canvas, preps it, basically. And so what happened is, over the years, people started using it for other mediums, and it became, you know, what it is today, where there's you know, many different artists using gesso for many different crafts and things. Because I never started using gesso until probably like 6 or 7 years ago. I didn't even know what it was until, actually that's not true, we did use it in an art class, so I kind of knew what it was. But a lot of people, you know, don't know what it is unless they're using it, you know. I mean, if you walk up to anybody and say, oh, I'm going to get some gesso, they're going to look at you and go, hustle, what-o? Because it's not something you know about unless you were an artist or a crafter, which crafting is art. So anybody that tells you different is an idiot. Crafting is absolutely an art form. But don't get yourself nervous if you're new to crafting, thinking that, uh-oh, I'm considered now, you know, now it's art, because that can make people nervous, thinking that it's art. Because people think, they have this misconception in their head of how art has to be, and art doesn't have to be anything. Art is what you make it. Alright, so I think those are gessoed enough, and now I'm going to take, and I'm going to put some of this pink on this flower after that dries, but first I'm going to stick another coat on this Journey, because it's a little bit sparse, and I kind of want it to be fully covered, and then I'll distress it. Glad I'm getting all this use out of this little thing of paint that I made up for another project. I just love the color. I'm actually probably going to make a new batch of this in a bigger jar. So I love when I find a color that I like. So paint that, set that sucker aside, let that finish drying real quick. And then I'm going to start working on this flower. But I think what I'm going to do with the last of this paint, since I don't think I have anything else that's pink, I think I'm going to add a little bit of gel medium to it. If I can find my gel medium, that would be fabulous. Oh, here it is. That's a gloss. I don't want gloss. Do I have a non-glossy gel medium? Of course I don't. Oh, here we go. I do. I wanted a matte. I do have a matte. I'm going to add a little bit of that, because that will help keep the pink that I'm about to put on the flowers translucent, so that some of that gesso comes through and I don't have to have it super dark. At least I hope so, because I'm not sure I put enough of the gel medium, or maybe I put too much. I don't know. I'm new working with the gel mediums. Or any of the, well, yeah, just the gel mediums. I'm pretty new with those. I haven't used those a whole lot, but I like them because they're cool to kind of make your paint translucent. When you don't want full coverage, like heavy coverage on your whatever you're painting. So that's what's nice about them. So now what I can go in and do, I think what I'm going to do is stamp on that flower, on that pink one. That's what it sounds like I want to do. This flower here is very difficult to paint because it's like I want to say a distressed paper, because it's very kind of fuzzy, like as if somebody almost distressed the crap out of it, or whoever made it, the company, I guess. So it's like weird. It's just weird. That's all I can say. It's weird. There we go. I guess that's... Yeah, it wants to fold up and stuff, whereas other ones didn't want to do that. Okay. So now that I got that done, I might do something with this blue one. I might add a little gel medium to this little cup, and also a little... I have no room up here. I mean, it's so covered right now, and this is just from this project. It's so incredibly covered. It's ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to add it to this. Add a little bit of paint to this dark, add a little bit of dark paint to this gel medium. And just go over that flower. Such a pain. It really is a pain to paint flowers. These petals are like annoying. Well, I'm not really going for perfection on this because I kind of want it to look sloppy-ish. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to take away from some of the paint on the, I'm going to take some of the paint away from it with like just a wet brush, or actually I need some aqua, just plain old aqua. For that, put a little water. Go in and brush off some of the paint on both the flower. Well, we don't want blue. Well, that actually works too. I can just pat it with the... Sure that'll work as well on this flower. However, I did forget to do this little blue one here. So my camera shut off again. I really need to get like an actual standalone camera for this stuff, but all I have is my phone, and although the quality is good, I was trying to show how I distressed these little brads. They were like really bright, I don't know what it cut off on, but I painted the flowers, I gessoed the flowers, and then I kind of went back over them and gave them kind of a, you know, distressed or messed up look. And I repainted the journey with the pink paint that I had made like 2 weeks ago that I kept in a little baggie. And now I'm going to put one of these brads on each one of these. I just got to take the bottoms off. And I don't know what I do with my little snippers. Snippers, where are you? Oh, I might want to put the cap on that paint before I end up. And my gesso. Before everything ends up drying up. Because I've got such a mess going on here, it's not even funny. Seriously, I don't know what happened to my snippers. I had them. Because I used them not long ago. Well, I'll have to get another pair. I know I got another pair over here somewhere. Here they are. Okay. I'll get out the big old granddaddies that I've had for years and years and years. Alright. Yank the things off of that. I think I'm going to add a little sparkle to this by making that journey kind of sparkle. I might add some stickles to it. That'll give it a little something something. I'm dropping things left and right. The only problem is they don't fit all that great. Oh man. Alright, I might have to do something for the middle one because it's too big. So what I might do is put it over here. Or in the middle of the bow. Maybe. But if I do that, maybe I should do the pink one. Okay. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. I'll use that for the middle of the bow. And then, voila. Because all three of them wouldn't fit. They were like hitting each other. They were not being very good. But I had already distressed it specifically for this project, so I was going to use it one way or another. So I will put it in the center of the bow. I want to turn it, and I forgot. I wanted it to be straight. Okay. So now, get that gel medium out of my way. Okay. And get the water out of my way. Now I just need to take care of what I'm doing underneath of that journey thing and put a little pearl or something on there. And that's where the fun part... Oh, and I wanted to stamp something there. So, I need to find my stamps. Because they're hiding too. Oh, I found the perfect one without even looking. This little... It's like, I don't know what it is. It's got a feather on it. And it's like some sort of stick with a feather. So that's going to go here. And then I'm going to gesso over it to lighten it. So I'm going to use my trusty StazOn. And I'm going to ink that. Oops. I'm going to push it out of the way so I can ink it up. And because it's canvas and it's very hard to push on anyway for a stamp, it's likely that it's not all going to show up anyway. This canvas is one of the hardest things to stamp on. Yeah, see, it doesn't all show up, but it looks cool. I don't like how that turned out, but the rest of it looks cool. And again, I'm going to wipe my stamps off, because even though it stays on, I can get my stamps clean. People say you can't get StazOn off of a stamp. Look how easily I got that off. There was very little left on. And even that I got off. So, my stamps are clean. Clean. All clean. Okay. So, I'm going to take some of the watered down gesso, and I'm going to go over it so that it's a bit muted. Get out of the way. And I might stick something over there to cover that up. And now what I'm going to do is grab a flat back of some sort to put there. And let's see what I got in the box of flat backs. We're just going to set it right here. It'll be fine. I've got this pearl, which may be a good choice. I've got these little pink ones. So that might be a good choice. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be probably one of those. I've also got these, but I think they're a little too blingy for this particular. See, I wish they would make these where they've got the facets on it. I wish they would make them in like an antiqued, where they're like, you know, the metal's starting to go and get all like yellowy and the stone starts to get yellow. You know what I mean? The antique ones. I wish they would make some of these in antique. I really, really wish they would, because I'd buy up so many of those, because they would be my favorite for sure. Without a doubt, they would be my favorite. Okay, so I'm probably just going to do the pearl, because I don't think I'm going to do a pink pearl, because I think I have enough pink going on. Yeah, I don't like the pink. I think I just need a regular old pearl. I do have some gems that almost look antiqued. If the yellow wasn't so yellow, that's what I mean. Like, you know how this yellow and the metal starts to look, because these are pretty old actually, but if they would just be a little bit less bright yellow and a little bit more of that dingy yellow, they would be perfect. They would be so cool looking. Anyway, I'm going to get off that subject, and I'm going to stick this flat back pearl on my project. And even though it's got a sticky back, I don't trust that to stay, so we're going to hot glue it anyway. Okay, good enough. Am I missing anything? I have to go through and do my little removal of hot glue and all that stuff. Oh yeah, I gotta put my little wood piece on. I gotta go and do all my cleanups and stuff like that. And plus I gotta put my journey on. I still gotta find something for underneath of that. I'm gonna draw this up a little bit. And I'm going to spray this again because there we go. I just want it to show through. I don't want it to cover it. trying to dry these flowers enough so I can distress them a little bit. Is this dry enough? I could distress this. I'm just going over this with that gingerbread around the edges. Trying to be careful with it just a little bit because I don't want to rip the foam on it and then ruin it. What's nice about this is if you put too much on, you could take a little water and rub it and kind of just, you know, it'll thin it out just a bit, and that's why I love it. And it's just a great color. It's a great color. And so that's pretty much done. Whoops, let's drop it on the floor. But it wouldn't be me if I didn't drop it on the floor now, would it? Nope. Okay. I really would like something underneath of that, and I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do. Oh, I know. Ding, ding, ding. See, it took a minute, but it came to me. I've got this. I'm going to cut out a piece to go in there. And, yeah, a nice yellowed piece. Sweet. And hopefully I can cut out a piece to go in there without wasting this, because it is too awesome to waste. And then I'm going to kind of attempt to get it to match a little bit, but still show through with a little of that watered down gesso and make pretty. Now I got to figure out how to measure this circle, because the only thing I could do is carefully, because this paper is extremely brittle. I mean, just my nail is ripping it, so I'm going to see if that circle can be salvaged. Probably not. I probably just screwed that up so bad. Well, it's not too bad. I don't want it to be like, it's not going to be perfectly in there because I've got stuff glued down, but I think that's not too bad to be. To just be in there, just as a background. I want it to fold over. Yeah, I think it'll look cool down on there. I'm going to make it part of the background, and it's going to look awesome. Is there anything not glued down? Okay, good. Because I got to turn this around, I got to flip it, and I'm just going to stick that little piece in there, and I think that's going to give it just a little something. Just a little something. That's what it's going to do. And then I think we're going to be able to call this piece close to done. Now this I'm going to have to Mod Podge over pretty well, because it's so old and it's very brittle, and it can rip off very easily if I don't. Just trying to put a little crease in it, but could actually take a piece. You bet your ass I ain't wasting any of this paper. This is that stuff I got at that place. That Smart Scrap Made Art place. It's basically a thrift store of craft supplies. Dang it, stop sticking to my finger and stick to the paper. Jeez. And then wherever my laser went, razor, I'm going to just gently either tuck or cut. Oh, there we go. Yeah, perfect. Sweetness! That looks really good now. I really like that. That just gave it just a little something. Sometimes it just takes a few minutes to get the gears working in my brain to figure out what to do. But I'll show that to you up close so you can see before I put the journey on it. Can you see it at all? I don't even know. It's right here. There's probably too much stuff in the way and I can't move it canvas any closer. There. Right there. That's the paper. It's literally from 1939. And it's freaking awesome. And now, when the journey sits on there, it just looks so perfect now. It's just perfect. I love it. I'm so excited. Yay. Okay, now I can hot glue that down. Let's see. How do we want to center that? I think like that's perfect. So, right where that Y is, I gotta make sure I remember how I want it. Really only needed to glue it in 2 spots, but yet I still sat there and stuck glue all the way down it. Duh. I forgot. Okay, so, trying to think. What else am I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to distress these little flowers, and then pretty much that's it, man. We're pretty much completo. Isn't that amazing? I know it took me 2 days and like hours to do, but I'm always so excited when it's done. Because it's another piece and something pretty to look at. Actually, this is going to go up in that up for sale at that place, that Smart place. I said it now, like how many times have I mentioned that place? So this is actually going to go there when she has my pieces up for sale. So if it doesn't sell there, then I will be putting it up in my putting it up online to sell, I guess, or keeping it. Maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. Who knows? I hate when they stick together. Who knows? I might end up keeping it. I don't know. I'm just going to go around and ink up as much as I can get of these edges, because it's kind of hard with these flowers because the petals want to stick to each other. So it's kind of difficult. I probably could use, ooh, I bet you I could if I can find it. This little doohickey right here. It's meant for like stencils, but I bet you that's gonna, oh yeah, that's gonna work. I don't want it to work too much. Hey, wait. Go back. Working really well. Too well. But luckily, all I have to do is lick my finger and wipe it, and it spreads it out. That does work well. I could even get this leaf a little bit better. Tone it down. Ooh, this is a great distressing tool for small spaces, man. It really works well. And invest in more of those little suckers. For sure. I just wanted to dirty up this flower a little bit. And dirty up these suckers here. I thought about adding some those little sprays of like the stamens or whatever, the little centerpieces. I thought about adding some of those, but then I think it would look too shabby chic. I mean, it's shabby chic, you know, but I kind of wanted it to be less shabby chic and a little bit more grungy chic. Is that even a thing? I call it grungy chic, you know. I mean, maybe it's just considered grunge, but I like to dirty things up. That's like one of my favorite things to do. And I may even sit here and dirty up the petals of these little flowers, which would probably take me 1,000 years to do. I wish there was a way to magically just do it. But other than that, I think I'm pretty much done. So if I do sit here and grunge these little flowers up one by one, I'm sure nobody wants to see me do this, because it would take like forever and a half. So I think what I'm going to do is say goodbye to you all. Say goodbye, and if I decide to add anything, it will be in the pictures at the end of the video, because I think I may add some of these, maybe something to like there and there. I don't know. I might add something, you know. I am going to grunge up the rest of those little flowers that are hanging, but overall it is pretty much done. I hope you liked it. I know this video was long and in a couple of parts, but I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I hope you will subscribe and hit like on my videos that you watch. Anybody that subscribes to me, I usually will subscribe to you, because I like to do that. I like to see what everybody else is doing. But anyway, I guess, and another thing, when I get to after every 100 subscribers, I'm going to give something away. So, at every time I reach another 100 subscribers. Right now I think I have like 20 something, so no big deal. But when I get to 100, I'm gonna give something cool away to somebody. And then every time I reach another 100, so at 200 I'll give 2 things away. At 300 I'll give 3 things away. Catch my drift? So yeah, so awesome, dude. I hope you have a good rest of your night. And make sure that you do what you love and love what you do. Bye.